What's up, guys? Welcome back to Retro Motorsports USA. My name is Matt, and in this one I'm going to be showing you how to repair a blown rear strut tower on your BMW. Typically this happens to the E36 chassis. I'm sure a few other chassis suffer from the same issue. So there's a few ways to go about it, but I'm going to show you how we've had the best luck repairing them. Okay, so there's a few different places that you can get a replacement piece just like this. I know BMW sells them. This piece here is from a parts car we cut up outside. We're just gonna go ahead and clean up the blown strut tower and get this welded on, as well as some reinforcement plates from AKG on top on this side, as well as the side that's not broken. So once you have the shock removed, this is probably something along the lines of what you'll be greeted with. You can see here, torn and torn, leaving just this center area here left. And as you can suspect, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be replacing this just like that. So we've already got this one cut out pretty nicely, traced it here. The next thing that we are going to do is grind all of this seam sealer away, get down to some bare metal, so then we have a nice clean surface to weld. Because we're not going to be chopping this all out here, we believe that it's easiest and most practical just to kind of stack these, because the studs on the shock absorbers themselves are plenty long. It does nothing but add another layer of metal to pull through in the future, kind of support this new mounting plate here. So what we are going to do is chop this circle here as it's protruding upward, and will prevent this plate from sitting flush. So you can also see this is a little wavy. It's pulled up here, pushed down here. We're gonna straighten it all out best we can, and then I'll show you what we're dealing with. Okay, so you can see I got it all ground down. Now you can see we also made a pretty good mess here, just a bunch of dust. I knew that would happen. Notably, I didn't want to take the speaker out, so look at all that metal up there. It'll all come off when I pull that plastic down. Next thing I'm going to do is spray all of this with a weldable primer. I'm going to spray both here as well as the back of my plate here, just so that when we sandwich it together, we're not going to allow rust to get in here and then let this thing rust from the inside out. So this is the final fit up right here. I have the shock in place, and I have these 13mm nuts tight just so that we know that it will fit once we weld it in place. You can see here I have all the metal around where I'm going to be welding the pieces together bare, and the fit up itself is really good. You can see that shadow right there. There's a bit of a gap, but I can't really ask for much better, and most of the structure welding is going to be here anyways. These will just be small stitches in there. I threw a leather down right here just because I don't want to get any slag on some of this plastic and such. Next thing I'm going to do, get to welding. Not the greatest of welds, but they'll do. All right, so these definitely are not the best welds in the world. They'll get us by. They penetrated well. Up in here, you can see some of the seam sealer did melt a little, so we'll re-seam seal that, but we didn't blow any holes through, and that was the important thing here, is because we don't just want to blow through here. If you're not going to weld reinforcement plates in, that's where you'd stop your welding. You'd paint, seam seal, all that. We have these from AKG Motorsport. These are rear shock tower mount reinforcements. They're for E30, E36, Z3, and Z4. And so we're just gonna go ahead and slap these on top. We're gonna do this side and the other side. Next up is going to be some sealant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just seal around all of this area here with this. This is just some seam sealer. Seems like some pretty good stuff. So I'm going to get that done, and then we will paint over it, and then that'll be all for this strut tower repair. Here you guys have it. You can see there is the new strut tower all seam sealed. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll paint it.
After giving the seam sealer some time to dry overnight, the next day I sprayed some rubberized undercoating to finish it off over the inside and outside. I'm not too concerned with how this looks because it will be covered.
All right, so the seam sealer dried a little. I got the seam sealed both in the wheel well because the heat melted some of the seam sealer here in the wheel well, as well as up top at the top of the strut tower. Now as the seam seals dried, I sprayed 2 coats of thick undercoating on there, and I'm gonna let that dry overnight, and then tomorrow we will get the shock thrown back up, and then we'll start reassembling all the carpet and all the boring stuff, and you won't see this. But most importantly, it won't make that horrible clunking noise that it made when it was, torn. So if you're here because this happened to your car, this is how we go about it. You can copy these steps if you want to. You can change them a little. That's up to you. But regardless, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to check out some of the other projects we have going on here on our channel, both here in our Chicago location as well as down in the Tampa location. Alex got some cool projects down there as well, so expect some more content similar to this stuff. To the right of me, I have this S54 E36 M3 that we're finishing up, and right behind the camera we have this super cool E30 we're doing a whole bunch of work to. Stay tuned for some content on both of these cool cars. This is just a quick little insight on how we repair a blown strut tower. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you like the hoodie I'm wearing, you can get these at our website, retromotorsportsusa.com. They're limited availability, so get them while supplies last. And always remember, if you need E30, E36, E34 parts, or any similar chassis, contact us today. We love to source these parts if we don't have them, but we have a lot of parts ourselves. So don't be afraid to reach out. We supply people with parts all over the United States as well as all over the world. We ship internationally almost weekly. Contact us today via our Instagram, which is Retro Motorsports USA, and you can find us on all social medias under Retro Motorsports USA. Well, I'm Matt. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.